Rishishiv. Today we're going to learn about some interesting facts about the clock numbers as well as the history of clocks. So let's start with the first one. Interesting facts about clock numbers. So first let's start with addition. Okay, so what is 12 plus 1? 12! So we'll just write 12 here. 11, sorry, 12 plus 1 is 13, sorry. So 11 plus 2, again 13. 10 plus 3, 13. 9 plus 4, 13. 8 plus 5, 13. And finally 7 plus 6 is 13. That's a cool pattern if you just 12, 1, 11, 2, all 13. So if we can do the same thing for multiplication. So 12 multiplied, but not the same product. There's a pattern between the products. 12 multiplied by 1, 12. Next 11 multiplied by 2, 22. Next 10 multiplied by 3, 30. 9 multiplied by 4, 36. 8 multiplied by 5, 40. 7 multiplied by 6 is 42. So, let's start with this. Let's put the 0 here on the top, just for now. So, what's the difference between 0 and 12? Of course, it's 12. The difference between 12 and 22, 10. The difference between 22 and 30, 8. The difference between 30 and 36, 6. The difference between 36 and 40, 4. And finally, the difference between 40 and 42, 2. So now that we've done all of the patterns in this arrangement, let's move on to the next one. So I need to arrange this very carefully. Wait, why is it not okay? A little bit here and okay. So this pattern, I'll just do a curve here and last but not least 7, 5 and just assume there are 2 6s because 6 multiplied by 2 is 12. I'll just write that at bottom. So 7 plus 5 also 12. 8 plus 4 also 12. 9 plus 3 also 12. 10 plus 2 also 12. And 11 plus 1 12. And last but not least, 12 equals 12. So that's it for this arrangement. Let's move on to the next. So let's start with our next pattern, which is subtraction. So 12 minus 6, 12 minus 6 is equal to, well, what is it equal to actually? 12 minus 6 is equal to 6. In the last, the difference is 6 multiplied by 2 is 12. So 12 minus 6 is equal to 6. 11 minus 5 also 6. And next 10 minus 4 6. 9 minus 3 6. Let's see, I'll add a little tail. And after 8 minus 2 is, I'll just quickly add the lines here and here. Okay, this is the animal lines. So 8 minus 2 is also equal to 6 and 7 minus 1 is equal to 6. There. Okay, so moving on to the next pattern. So let's start with 12 and 12 minus 2 equal to 10. So what is 12 plus 10? 22. So write 22 here 11 plus 9. 11 minus 9 11 minus 2 is equal to 9. What is 11 plus 9? 20. So next, 10 plus 8. 10 plus 8 is equal to 18. So what's the pattern here is 12 minus 2 is equal to 20, and adding the number and two numbers before that number. So next we'll go to 9 and 7. 9 plus 7 is equal to 16. Next 8 plus 6, which is 14. In 7 plus 5, 12. 6 plus 4, 10. And 5 plus 3, 8. And 4 plus 2, 6. And 2 plus 4 plus 2 is 6, 3 plus 1 is 4, and last but not least 2 plus 12 makes 14. So we'll just make this a 0 because 2 minus 2 is equal to 0. So the answer is 2. So what is the difference here? All the answers are reducing by 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So do you know why? Because see, 12 and 10 will get 22. So there's one decreasing here also, and there's one decreasing here also. So 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. So it's decreasing 2 every time. That's it for this pattern. Now let's dive into the history of clocks. Now we're done with this board. So let's start. Who invented the clock? Christian Huygens invented the clock in 1656. He was a Dutch mathematician, physicist, astronomer and inventor, was regarded as one of the greatest scientists of all time and a major figure in the scientific revolution. He was one who founded the wave theory of light, discovered the shape of the rings of Saturn and its moon Titan. Huygens invented the pendulum clock in 1656, which he patented the same year. His research in horology, which is study of measurement of time, resulted in an extensive analysis of the pendulum in horologium. He resulted in an extensive analysis of the pendulum horologium oscillatorium. And actually the pendulum clock is known as the grandfather clock. So now moving to the earliest type of clock, which is the sundial, also known as shadow clock. A sundial or a shadow clock is a horological device that tells the time of the day when there is sunlight by the apparent position of the sun in the sky. Although no one knows for certain who actually invented the sundial, its credit goes mainly to the ancient Egyptians who by 1500 BC or 1500 BC had perfected the shadow clock, a more portable device that measured time throughout the day. That sundial was sure interesting. Let's move on to the water clock. The water clock, also known as clepsydra, was the most accurate and commonly used timekeeping device for calculating the amount of time that a farmer must take water from a canal or a well for irrigation. It consisted of a large pot full of water and a bowl with a small hole in the center. When the bowl became full of water, it would sink into the pot. The manager would empty the bowl again and put it on top of the water in the pot. He would record the number of times the bowl sank by putting small stones into a jar. These managers announced the exact time for the public. They worked on 2 shifts, day and night. Now let's learn about the sand clock, also known as the hourglass. So as you can see, this is sand clock or hourglass. So let's turn it upside down. Can you see this tiny hole over here? Well, maybe not because it's covered with plastic, but through it, it's dripping sand. Drip, drop, drip, drop, drip, drop. Can you see it dripping? So here is an image of another sand clock, the hourglass. One of the few reliable methods of measuring the time at sea. The hourglass was actually a European invention. Have you ever heard about the candle clock? Well, I hadn't heard about it, but until now. While no longer used today, candle clocks provided an effective way to tell time indoors, at night, or on a cloudy day. So wasn't that interesting, friends? Now let me tell you a quick fact about clocks. An institute in Colorado created a clock so accurate that it won't lose or gain a second in 20 million years. Oh, even 1 year is a big timeline. Is a big time unit. But what 20 million years? That's a lot. And it won't lose or gain a second. Whew. So, overall, the clock had gone a long journey. From sundial to water clock to hourglass to candle clock. That's a very, 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 very long journey. And last but not least, to today's modern clock. This. And we know the time is 10:30. I better go to bed or else I'll be in trouble. Bye.